patient who's doing well off of medication abruptly and without their permission is not unfair. I actually think it's malpractice.
Strong words tonight about efforts by the Department of Veterans Affairs and other institutions across the country to taper patients off opioids against their will. Mountain Home VA's decision to reduce opioid prescriptions remains controversial more than a year after that initiative started.
And today the facility is prescribing half as many opioids as it did back in 2012. But Nate Morbido uncovered some new concerns about the way the Department of Veterans Affairs and other institutions are cutting those pain meds.
That's right. It's not so much about why they're cutting back. It's that they're doing so without giving patients a choice. Renowned author and addiction psychiatrist Dr. Sally-Satel says she's all for reducing opioid doses as long as patients and doctors work collaboratively toward that goal. But as we've reported multiple times, veterans feel like they don't have a say in the matter.
As many years I put in, they need to take care of me.
Since December 2016,
we took an oath to defend this country, to defend them.
Multiple veterans have voiced a common feeling of betrayal.
If they take away the rest of my pain medication, which I'm sure they will, I will be totally physically disabled.
All the result of what they called Mountain Home VA's mandatory reduction of their opioid doses.
It shouldn't be done without their permission.
Dr. Sally-Satel says many institutions have misinterpreted the Centers for Disease Control's pain management guidelines, interpreting them as mandates rather than recommendations.
I think it is an outrage when you have a person who's doing well on a dose of medication, highly functional, their pain is under good control. This is what you want. This is the clinical outcome.
The addiction psychiatrist is a resident scholar at American Enterprise Institute and a lecturer at Yale University. She's a vocal opponent of involuntary tapering of controlled opioids. For decades, VA and other doctors prescribed pain medications because they thought at the time that's what patients needed. But in recent years, they changed the approach when new research found opioids can be dangerous and ineffective.
I understand their fear, their anxiety, and their anger, but I want them to understand that this is driven by our concern for their safety.
Most recently, Mountain Home VA's chief of staff told us the facility's proud of its 49% decrease in opioid prescriptions since 2012, adding doctors consider every patient's need on a case-by-case basis and taper veterans off opioids in a safe way.
Many veterans have really understood and bought into it, and it has helped us.
But others have not. And Dr. Satel says it's dangerous to force their hand.
To take a patient who's doing well off of medication abruptly and without their permission is not unfair. I actually think it's malpractice.
The VA maintains it's taken patients off opioids gradually and given veterans the opportunity to appeal their tapering decisions, adding the pain meds may help with short-term pain but are not approved to treat chronic pain in non-cancer patients. Mountain Home's now encouraging veterans to try safer and more effective alternatives.
Nate, thank you. As we reported earlier this month, VA representatives plan to discuss preliminary data that show a link between opioid discontinuation and suicides at an upcoming summit. Dr. Satel has authored several published works alongside one of those speakers.